Well, for more on this, we're joined by global trade specialist Leon Marais. Leon, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate it. Let's talk about what the real opportunity between the Brazilian and South African economies might be mutually for each other. And I say this given that these are economies of a similar nature, so to speak. The Brazilian economy growing slightly faster than the South African economy, but from a configuration perspective, it's quite similar in margins.
Yes, sir. There are indeed quite a lot of opportunities for us, and South Africa and Brazil has had very strong political relationships over the years, but our commercial relationship is still very far below its potential. The objective should not only be more trade, it should be more balanced, because we have a very negative trade balance with Brazil in particular. So we need to improve our trade with Brazil significantly. The latest figures for bilateral trade sits at about 32.5 billion in 2025. But South Africa only exported 5.2 billion to Brazil, while importing from Brazil were approximately 27.3 billion. That's a deficit of around 22.1 billion for South Africa. So we definitely need to do something about that, and we need to start exporting to Brazil.
Yeah. What are some of those trade barriers that needs to be considered?
Obviously, we need to look at the opportunities that there are, and the biggest opportunities is in terms of commodity-based relationships. And so, yes, we really need to look at improving agricultural trade in particular, motor vehicle trade, agro-processing. We need to focus on that. And yes, we've got a trade agreement, the SACU-Mercosur trade agreement, since 2016. And in terms of that trade agreement, it exists in paper, but we can see that we don't utilize it fully. So we need to start working on that trade agreement and start implementing it. I'm not sure what the actual reason for it is, but it looks like trade barriers may be an issue, standards, sanitary and phytosanitary requirements, registration requirements, customs procedures. So we've got a lot of things on paper, but we don't use it. And thirdly, I think businesses need better market intelligence and commercial networks. It's one thing for governments to sign trade agreements, but it's another thing for a South African SME in particular to find a Brazilian buyer. So we need to do something about that.
Yeah, very specifically on getting that balance correct, particularly because you highlight that the trade balance is in favor of Brazil and against South Africa. And oftentimes the question has been, what does South Africa have on offer for the rest of the world? Agricultural processing is one that you had spoken about there, but we're not manufacturing as much as we're supposed to, which is seemingly an area of commerce that Brazil's doing slightly better at South Africa. Would we be able to close that trade barrier without improving our manufacturing output?
No. That's going to be very difficult. We need to add value, basically, and it's going to be very difficult if we don't do that. So that is something that needs urgent attention, and obviously, private companies create work, but governments need to create the platform for job creation and so, and by better policy making in particular. So President Ramaphosa always says that we need to work together, government and business need to work together, but government needs to create a proper platform for working together.
Well, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time and your insights on this. Really do appreciate it. That's Leon Marais, who is a global trade specialist.